So done. What's up, everybody? It's Ktown Kris.
And your boy Diesel.
Who's disappearing into the background. So we look a little different tonight.
Obviously. I'm all Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future and over here.
Fading in and out. Look, I'm fading into the background.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
So, our first Zoom video, we thought we'd try something a little different tonight and shoot by Zoom and, you know, see how it goes. So not crazy about the pixelation, but, you know, that's the photographer in me. So we'll see how it looks when we upload it.
She's trying to turn me into Lester Holt over here, and she's talking about the photographer in her.
The Zoom backdrop that we are currently using is one of my skyline shots. So you guys can see the Friendship Fountain as well as our downtown skyline. I think you're hiding the Blue Bridge. There it is. It's peeking over your shoulder. So pretty now. So it's 11/8, and yesterday was 11/7, which was 4 days after the election, 11/3, and we finally found out, what we knew for the entire week. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris are going to be taking office in January. So
super excited, super relieved, as many of you are as well.
The turn-up has been nice for the weekend.
It's been
a chill turn-up. Like, we've really enjoyed it.
Like, yeah, it's just a collective sigh of relief and just relaxation for real. Like,
you feel like you can breathe.
Yeah. Like getting past that first performance review.
Yes.
It's like I'm good for another 6 months at the very least. So.
And, you know, we went downtown, so they had a Black Lives Matter march and, like, celebration of, you know, the announcement downtown in front of the courthouse yesterday. So we had a good time there. It was outside, so we could be outside. And even though we were outside, we still wore masks because there were people out there, you know, and unfortunately, we don't feel really safe going to inside events right now still. But, you know, this was outside and we stayed away from, you know, the group. But it was a good time. The energy was great. People were dancing, you know, and then you got to see, like, all these videos online of, like, everyone celebrating.
Yo, and, like, even before it all went viral, like, legit, first thing I thought, I was like, why does this look like the end of Return of the Jedi? And, like, as soon as I go to Twitter, what's all over Twitter? People have already took the clips from all over the world and then edited them together, put the Return of the Jedi ending music onto it.
Yeah.
They done superimposed Biden's head on Luke, and John Lewis and RGB are in, like, Force Ghost. It's been, the memes have been insane.
And let me just address, you know, this is in no way like you know, an attack on the other side, you know, on who lost. We're celebrating a win, and we feel that we have reason to celebrate. And you know, I could say a lot of choice things otherwise, but I won't. But we're excited.
We're excited for the coming, you know, like this year's been tough. And it's just like she said, you know what I'm saying, even taking partisan, all this other stuff, you know, aside, it's everybody went out and voted. Everybody's been through a lot. So it's like, now it's time to, you know what I'm saying, we got work to do. Like, everybody, the whole kind of slogan all weekend's kind of been, like, you know, the party's today, but we go back to work tomorrow.
Right.
So it's like, it's true. Like, we still have work to do. You know what I mean? Like, on the local level, even still up to the national level, like, there's still things that need to be done. And, you know, by far, for me to call myself an activist, I have, you know, beliefs in certain causes. But, you know, there's like almost a renewed sense of being involved, definitely of being aware, but a little bit of wanting to be more involved, because this kind of all proved it. This thing don't move if we don't move it.
Right.
So you can't just move it. You can't just move it on election day. You can't just move it when it's time to vote for the president. You need to be moving it throughout the year with other things. You need to move it when it's time to select mayors and governors and senators and all that kind of stuff.
Because let's just say that while Biden took office, you know, in key states, especially like Kentucky and South Carolina, you know, people obviously didn't vote the whole ticket. they left, Senate votes empty or didn't, know who to vote for. There were, judges and more on the ticket here in Florida. It is so important to do some research ahead of time. Sample ballots are generally mailed to your house. If you can't find that or that doesn't come, you can usually find a sample ballot online. But please, please, please find out about the local elections, local tickets. I'm pretty excited. There were some really close ones, here in Duval. And we did have some amazing people that took some local offices, but we did have some local offices that did not get voted for, that I was pretty discouraged about. So, please remember that, everything is affected by your vote, even locally, and you can do a lot with that.
Correct. And that's how, and the only other thing I'm going to say about the whole thing is, we keep hearing all this stuff about, illegal votes, fake votes, and whatever. And it's like, if you avoid that by actually exercising your right to vote.
If everyone's out, being done legitimate.
If everyone's out there voting, then you can't make that claim of false voting because everybody voted. Everybody's voice counted.
See, if this many people are out there celebrating, that many people were out there voting.
Just saying.
So, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. That's where the focus is this week.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the focus has been. I've worked out maybe 3 times in the past 4 or 5 days just because it's been such a whirlwind. But now we've gotten past that. Election season's over. Winter is approaching quickly.
Still some runoffs in areas like Georgia and things like that. So Pay attention, especially here in Florida. We need to be letting our fellow Georgians know about this runoff and how important it is that they need to vote in those elections.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's like I said, back to work tomorrow. Planning for the coming fall and winter. And a renewed everything in 2021, hopefully. I'm excited for the holidays. I know that.
Oh, and as hosts, we have to definitely, before we close out, say a rest in peace to Alex Trebek, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Look, we both grew up on Jeopardy, as most everybody has. I think our parents might have grown up on Jeopardy.
I'm sure. It's been on forever.
You know what I mean?
And he always showed such poise, such assuredness, such humility. He knew how to throw in the jokes without it being too much for a trivia show. He was
Trebek felt like he always had the smoke though.
He had that swagger. You can just yes. So
and I always tease her that like when we like come home from work or whatever, like she'll always throw on like Wheel of Fortune or like Jeopardy. Like I always tease her like we're 70, like because my grandma used to do that. You know what I mean? Like these game shows on at night.
I'm a host. It's what in
right.
my heart.
But I say that to say it's gonna be odd now when she throws on Jeopardy and Alex Trebek ain't up there. Like it's sinking in because again, I'm like in my early 30s and I've pretty much been seeing Alex Trebek host Jeopardy my entire life. So it's gonna be odd to not see him on Jeopardy anymore. And it's just weird how this year has just been a steady dose of those. But again, it's like it just feels like with everything else that's been going on, it's a release of suffering, a release of anxiety, a release of pain.
Yeah, and he's definitely in a lot of pain.
Right. So it's part of that release process. And so you think about it that way. And then the fact that literally like our kids, us and our parents grew up watching Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. So that's kind of another collective thing we have in common now.
So, all right. Negative note, but it's cool. It's not a negative note because again, he lived a great life.
Yeah, boy.
So, Ktown Kris.
And your boy Diesel.
Thanks for tuning in to Salted Culture. As always, nothing but love, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.